Good morning, YouTube friends. It's Dale from whatever the weather may be. I'm all froggy this morning. So I'm standing out behind the post office where I work every morning to clean. And we've had a significant snowfall overnight. This is the parking lot here, and it was right down to the gravel. There was no snow at all here yesterday. But it's March, and March is our very most unpredictable month. March can be beautiful and warm, and March can be full of snow. So I guess this March for us is going to be full of snow. We had, I don't know. What does that look like? That looks like about 4 or 5 inches of snow since noon yesterday. The funny thing about it is, and it's not funny, but the interesting thing about it is, 54 years ago yesterday, the city of Winnipeg, where I grew up and lived until I was a young adult, had the worst blizzard of its history. I can't remember how much snow it was. I think it was something like 35 centimeters, which by today's standards isn't, we've had more than that here. In October we had more than that. But it also had sustaining winds that made it a blizzard. And I remember it very clearly. I was about 11 years old, and I don't remember what the date was, but I think it might have been just before a weekend, because my dad was home and he worked, so it must have been around a weekend. But my brother, Norman, had a Skidoo at the time. And after the blizzard hit, or during the blizzard, he was called by, they were calling anybody who had Skidoos or snowmobiles and putting them to action in transporting people, because there was people stranded all over the city. The downtown Eaton store, which is a large department store, had hundreds of people stranded there for several days. They just stayed there. But Norman was taking people to hospital. He escorted a lot of nurses into hospitals, because of course what happens when there's a blizzard of that type going on, the staff that are in the hospital at the time have to stay. They are not allowed to leave. And so relief would have been very much appreciated. If somebody could bring people in, that kind of thing is wonderful. So he was busy transporting people back and forth to different places, and the rest of us were kind of stuck indoors. I remember the front of our house, which faced south, it was completely covered over. The door was completely blocked. The front picture window was completely covered over. There was a drift that covered the picture window right up to the roof. And as children, we were just so in love with this snowstorm, because we could get out there and make forts and slide from the roof to the ground and have instant toboggan slides made for us by Mother Nature. So it was wonderful. I don't recall it being a hardship at all. Oh. Don't tell me he's going to come down here. You'll make me go in the ditch? No, he's going to go in the ditch. Okay. So snow is not something that is foreign to us here in Canada. And most times we bear it very well. It gives us something to complain about and something to talk about. But we embrace it. It's our one season that actually a lot of us really, really enjoy. However, when we get a significant snowstorm after everything has melted, then it's kind of depressing. And I do remember, speaking about the hospital part, when I was nursing, I think there was one snowstorm that hit. I had been working a day shift, and it hit early in the morning, just after I got to work. And I ended up having to stay and work the night shift, the evening shift and the night shift, and I think the following day shift as well. But the nice thing about that is when something like that happens, the hospital feeds you, you shift off, you go and have a break more often if you can. You pare down your activities a little bit. Some things slide, not patient care, but maybe beds aren't as tidy as they would normally be because you're working tired. You're working long hours. But the hospitals always feed you, they make sure you have lots of coffee. They have good nutritious meals for you. And then you also get time and a half or sometimes double pay if that's something that's important to you. But it always was kind of an enjoyable time because you spent a lot of time with your patients, and it was like being home. Like they got the benefit of having people doting on them because you had nowhere else to go, nothing to do except be with your patients. So there's my husband. He's using the scoop, which is a wonderful thing. Don't have to lift snow, just push it and dump it. So I'm going to go in the house now, and I'm going to have a cup of coffee. And I think, before I do that, look at, he's almost got the driveway done. No shoveling required. I'm just going to go and brush off my bird feeder. Yesterday, before this snow hit, the birds were over here in this feeder by the hundreds, and I'm not exaggerating. And I kind of suspected we were going to be getting a lot of snow because that's sort of what they tend to do. They will bulk up on their feed if it's going to be miserable weather and they're not going to be able to get to a feeder or find food. Quite a bit of snow on here. I'm going to have to bring some snow out or some food out for them because they pretty much cleaned up everything I put down yesterday. Sorry if I'm jumping around the camera here. So I'll have to bring some food out for them. Oh, spring may be near, but it doesn't feel like it now. This will be gone very quickly. Tomorrow it's supposed to be warm. It's supposed to be +7 Celsius. So it'll melt a lot of this. So from snowy, whatever the weather may be, have a good day. Thank you for watching. Talk to you real soon. Bye for now.